You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 54 of Flippin' the Birds, presented by Philly Sports Network. I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and we're finally here. The 101st season of the NFL. We're having a season, man. Like, this is really happening this Sunday.
Yeah, as far as we know.
What do you mean, as far as we know?
You could pull the rug from underneath of us.
Don't you dare wish that upon us right now.
We're going to get to Sunday, 12:59, but I go.
Season canceled.
Well,
out of 17,000 COVID tests, they've only had one positive player.
I wonder who that one was.
Did it be Ronald Darby?
It probably wasn't Odell, because, Odell's too busy,
That's disgusting, man. Let's not talk about it, but that's disgusting.
Odell always thought he was the shit, so.
Wow. I drafted him in my fantasy league. I can't really.
You can't dump him?
Yeah, I can't. He's my number 2, bro. But anyways, even though that's Odell's kind of fun to pick.
He always acted like an a-hole. We never know why.
The Eagles will be stepping onto the field to face the Washington football team.
Well, before we get into that, I know people we advertised Zachary Neal from Washington Wire. However, he couldn't be on. He's not here. He lives in Oregon, and they're dealing with some wildfires over there. So hope he's safe and everything. And we'll have him on the next one, yeah. On the next one, when the Eagles are looking to sweep the Redskins, Washington, whatever. Yeah, whatever. So we'll have him on later in the year. On the last game of the season, we'll have him on. When the Eagles are looking to rest their starters before they go into the bye week.
You're throwing a lot of subliminals there, but
it's true.
Here's a non-subliminal. You've mastered the art of looking into the enemy.
I've mastered the art of a lot of things.
No, time out. Listen, I'm giving you this. Standing ovation. Leave it at that. You've mastered the art of previewing what the Eagles will be facing every week last season with all the articles you put up for PSN. So this is your specialty right now. Eagles going into Washington. Last year we went into Washington. We were down 17-0 at the half, or 17-7 at the half, if I'm not mistaken.
17-0. 17-0.
There we go. And I still remember putting up that the Eagles were going to come back, and somebody called me crazy for saying that. Wish I screenshot that.
If you screenshot something, every time someone called you crazy, you have a book of screenshots.
I do have a book of screenshots. It happens. I'm Puerto Rican. We're labeled crazy.
That's true. That's true. Can't argue that.
But let's break down what we're looking at. Defensive wise, Redskins.
Well, you're looking at a team that has always been strong defensive line group. The Washington team.
It's so hard just to get used to it.
Has had a very good defensive line for the longest time. The defense overall, not so much. Last year, they allowed 385.1 yards per game, 27th in the league. They allowed 27.2 points per game, 27th in the league. They allowed 238.9 passing yards per game, 18th in the league. They allowed 146.2 rushing yards per game, 31st in the league. But they were +1 in the turnover differential, which was league average 14th. They were 14th. They were bad. They were very bad. They added the wrecker of worlds, apparently, according to Twitter, and Chase Young. He had a quote the other day where he said, "When I put on the football helmet, I'm not Chase Young anymore. I turn into someone different." So everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's an animal!" And all these videos that he put up, all the videos, like, look at Chase Young throw this guy like a ragdoll, and it's like a fourth string tight end.
That has no business of being on the field.
They've been posting pictures of him dominating Logan Thomas, who used to be a quarterback, who's now a tight end, who's been with like 6 different teams in his career. So it's like great, It's
sure.
They showed him like push back an undrafted tackle from last year. I was like, oh my god, look what he's doing. I get they're still big people. I get it. But they don't have the technique and all this stuff that starters or even backups have.
Mm-hmm.
Show me a video of Chase Young doing it against a starter, then I'll be like, okay, a little scary. Chase Young is good.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. When according to Pro Football Focus, Chase Young last year had their highest pass rushing grade ever in college pro football. All time. In Pro Football Focus history for college, he had a 95.4 pass rush grade with a pass rush win rate, but you can't say that 5 times fast.
No,
of 22.3%. So he won his matchups 22.3% of the time, which I know it's a low percentage kind of out of 100, but it's really good. He's been touted as the best edge prospect since Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. He's been compared to Jadeveon Clowney. He's been compared to Javon Curse. They're saying that he's next in line. Pro Football Focus said their college metrics has been very good in projecting elite edge rushers, and they, especially in Ohio State, and the last 2 they rated out very highly have been great so far, and Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa. So, what's his name? Chase Young. Chase Young is next in line there. He's good. Now,
is it bad that he's not the one that scares me from the defensive line?
I mean,
I still have nightmares because of Ryan Kerrigan.
Really, Ryan Kerrigan is the Eagles' wrecker.
I hate him so much.
Ryan Kerrigan is the Eagles' wrecker, and he always has been.
Oh, my God.
But, he's still going against Lane Johnson, which I know still, he's still the Eagles' wrecker no matter who he's facing against.
And Lane Johnson hasn't really practiced much this offseason.
He's been a little hurt. Yeah, right. So, Ryan Kerrigan has been around since 2011. He's played in 17 games versus the Eagles. So, one more than a full season.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, he only played 1 game. He missed the first game of the season. So, not even putting last year's game. Last year, he was complete. No, so he played in the first game. He didn't play in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 last year, he had 1 tackle, 2 QB hits. That's it. He only played in 78% of the snaps and 50
That's
snaps.
very, very unlike him.
That's not like him. So you take away his 1 tackle game last year and you put it into a 16-game thing. In 16 games, a full season worth of 16 games against the Eagles, he has 11.5 sacks, 58 combined tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 20 QB hits, 1 interception for a touchdown, and 6 forced fumbles.
Wow,
that's really good season numbers, and he's doing that. He did that in a season's worth of games versus the Eagles.
He's very underrated. Not too many people really speak on.
Kerrigan. No, he's probably one of the most underrated players in the whole league. He's been if we talk about players you respect outside of the Eagles, and he's been one of those. I've been steadfast on that. Whenever I say, because for the Cowboys it was DeMarcus Ware. I was a fan of his, and for the Washington team, it's Kerrigan. Kerrigan is the wrecker of the Eagles, and he like Cole Beasley was to the Eagles. Cole Beasley wrecked the Eagles on the Cowboys. Always.
There's always one.
Ryan Kerrigan is that guy. But Chase Young, at least we have Chase Young versus Jason Peters, and not Chase Young versus Matt Pryor or Jordan Mailata. Hopefully. Knock on wood.
Yeah, the scary part of Peters is that he has not been consistent enough for the past 2 seasons on staying on the field. That's the biggest concern right now, because you're covering once it's a blind side. And to get substituted for Mailata or Pryor is scary.
So Jason Peters since his Pro Bowl year in 2016, he's played in just 36 of 48 possible games. In 2017, the Super Bowl year, he missed the rest of the season. He only played 7 games. He played in 16 games in 16 games 2015. 2015. 2018, only 13 games last year. In those 36 games, he's played 100% of the snaps in 15 games, over 90% of the snaps in 13, less than 70% in 7, and last year was that one game where it was like 78% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had 7 games of the 36 where he played in less than 70% of the snaps. 20 of the 36 he played in not 100% snaps. So you can bet on Peters missing a series or two.
Which is still very...
Against Chase Young.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
And then you have, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan Allen in the middle. I'm not too sure who lines up with Allen.
It's right now their depth chart, unofficial depth chart is Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and Montez Sweat.
I forgot.
Because
wow.
Ryan Kerrigan is really like a linebacker that comes down. They lost Reuben Foster though again.
Oh, he's out again.
He went to IR, so he's out again. They do have Kendall Fuller, who's very good. He left. He went to the Chiefs, and now he's back to back in Washington.
Mm.
They still have Landon Collins, who's a glorified linebacker, who plays safety.
They have a new face at cornerback, a new hair do as well.
They have non-dreadlocked Ronald Darby.
I wonder if he's kind of an oxymoron where with dreadlocks he can't lock nobody up. Without dreadlocks he can lock you up. You think that's possible? No? Okay, I'll drink water.
Anyways, he was just asked in an interview, would he rather get a hit on Carson Wentz or pick him off? And he said pick him off. And people were like, he's going to be chasing the receiver.
Yeah.
So how is he going to do that?
Nice little double move.
Deshaun Jackson is going to take one step and Ronald Darby's going to go the other way. That's it. Like, it's not.
And it's just so sad because like Darby, like when we traded for him, it was kind of like holy crap, we have a cornerback now, and we may disagree on this. I just feel like 2017 he wasn't the best cornerback on the field.
Like he sucks.
He is. He's trash.
He's bad.
Like, there's no way around it. He's really trash.
Like when you I get that us as Eagles fans were so like get this guy off. Like Carson Wentz is gonna throw for his first pass of the game, and it's gonna be incomplete, and you're gonna see people all over Twitter calling for Jalen Hurts. That's what's gonna happen.
At least they can't boo him.
That's what's gonna happen. But I get as us like we're quick to throw someone aside and all that, and quick to put someone on the team if they're available and all that stuff. I get it, but Redskins fans, Washington fans, Ronald Darby's bad.
He's not Buffalo Bills Ronald Darby at all.
Bad. He's really bad.
Let's not forget Darby had Gilmore on the side of him.
Yeah, and I just don't get how Washington fans can see the Ronald Darby that they've seen play against them 2 times a year for the last 3 years and say, oh, yeah, I'm excited to have him line up there. Like, you've been trashing our secondary for how long? Darby's been a part of that secondary.
Now you have our secondary.
And you can't – and someone was arguing with me on Twitter the other day, Darby wasn't I said something about Dwayne Haskins. It was a tweet from Adam Schefter saying that Ron Rivera has announced Dwayne Haskins is the Week 1 starter. And then I commented on there, Ron Rivera has announced that he's forfeiting Week 1. And the Redskins fans are all in my mentions about that. And they're like, Dwayne Haskins lit you guys up. I go, you realize that the top corner that he lit up is now on your team.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
and it wasn't really Haskins. Like, it was McLaurin. Like, that kid is a burner, man.
They're like, they were lighting up Douglas and Maddox and all that. It wasn't even Darby's fault. Are you kidding? It's Darby. Every time someone passes by him, he's like, oh, my leg. Oh, shit.
Sounds like a Sidney Jones problem. So, overall, defensively versus our offense, I mean, we're going in with an offense that doesn't have Alshon, that doesn't have Jalen, quote unquote, right now. We don't have Jalen on the field. We're going in with Deshaun. We're going in with JJ. We're going in with Hightower. Goddard, Ertz.
JJ Howie's comments today.
This is JJ 2.0. Like, this is JJ Metcalf, apparently.
This is like Howie said. This is the guy we drafted. Like, apparently they drafted someone last year, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's a different person."
Stanford JJ
now,
was a monster. If you look
Stanford
at the highlights,
JJ,
he was a savage.
The Eagles were so like if they wanted to draft college production, that was the guy to draft. Like JJ in college was a beast.
He was phenomenal.
And then he goes here, and it's like, where's my umbrella?
You know, not too many rookies in Philly ever really overproduced. Not everybody's Miles Sanders. But speaking about, you know, produce, what's in your hand today, huh?
So
no more holding on. Let's reveal it.
So this past weekend, my wife and I went up to Saratoga, and I visited Artisanal Brewing. Artisanal Brewing is a brewery that produces, remember those Warheads?
Yeah. They
produce Warhead beer.
Oh, wow.
So sour ale is based on Warheads. I don't have that right now. But it was very good. I had the black cherry. It was very good. Watermelon was okay. The watermelon was like you were drinking a damn Warhead.
Okay.
It was like it tasted exactly like it.
I'm not a fan of sour ales. I bought it for my wife and I, and it was.
Which I'm surprised because you're a sour person. So it's
wow. I'm the sweet one of the podcast. You don't understand that. Like, I'm sweet, you're sour. That's how it is.
I don't know.
Do we want to hold a poll about this?
I mean, sure, because I'm gonna win.
Yeah, you're gonna be the sour one.
No, I'm the sweet one. So, anyways, they have a lot of great beers. A great brewery. I'm surprised. I was happy to find out that they were up there because I've always liked this brewery.
Mm-hmm.
But right here, I hate peanut butter. First of all,
you hate peanut butter?
I hate peanut butter.
Like, you're being serious right now?
I do not like peanut butter.
Why not?
Because it sucks.
It's phenomenal.
It sucks. But I'm weird and I'm like that in a few foods. Like, I hate peanut butter, but I like peanuts. Like M&M peanuts.
Oh, great. Yeah, M&M peanuts are undefeated.
Are the best.
Yeah.
Peanut butter beer, love it. Like what I have in my hand right now, peanut butter multiple infinities, and it is it's a peanut butter beer that's a peanut butter stout aged on cacao nibs, peanuts, lactose, and coffee. It's great.
Sounds really good.
It's phenomenal. It's so good. You can find beer like this on the app called Tavore. Tavore is a craft beer app where you can find rare beer or even great beer just like this on your app. You use our code FTB10. You get $10 off after you buy $25 worth of food. Not food, beer. And it's very easy with craft beer to pay $25. A 4-pack of this was $40.
Really?
It comes out to $5 a beer, and if you're going out, you're paying $5 a beer.
Wait, you said a 4-pack of that is $40?
20.
You said 40.
Oh, because I bought 2 4 packs.
Okay.
So,
all right, cool.
All right, so one 4-pack of this is $20. So like when you go out, you're paying more than $5 for a beer. So it's great. It's great value. I don't know if this beer is on it, but Tavore has a great array of different beers. If you're a craft beer drinker, go on Tavore, FTB10, get $10 off if you spend $25. It's a great program. I'm telling you, this is great. This is
cheers.
Cheers to your water bottle.
So let's talk about something that is great. Great additions to the Eagles secondary this offseason. We have Nick Roby-Coleman. We have Darius Slay. We've actually shed the weight of Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones off. Unfortunately, they didn't work out.
Okay, we got to get Rashad back on here because we got to talk to him because Rashad is the footwork.
He was very big on
he was
Douglas.
Big on Rasul. He was big on Avery, who's now hurt. I feel like he cursed us. I don't know, man. He was adamant. Like, Rasul's going to be CB2 across from Slay. Avery's going to come out. You know what? I think Rashad's been an undercover Cowboys agent because all the love he's giving CeeDee Lamb.
Possibly. But I do have a question, though, that you bring that up now. Craig James.
I forgot he was even on the roster.
Forgot. Yeah, I didn't know he was still on the roster.
He got an extension. I'm like, he's
but
there.
To see him and Cravon as the backups right now. Now I understand the COVID-19 rules where you can bring 2 players up from the practice squad on game day, The Eagles have Graylin Arnold. They have Trevor Williams on the practice squad. Trevor Williams was actually a protected player on the practice squad. So
him, Ostman would thank God.
yes.
Opeta and who else did they did? I forget.
Oh wow. Deontay Burnett, who
Deontay Burnett
high on coming out of camp.
Right. So I will be very. I doubt it's gonna happen. Like it's kind of strategic how they did it because they didn't protect any of the rookies they have on there because people are not gonna claim rookies.
I need them to protect Graylin though. Okay,
yeah, they do need to protect. They need to protect.
They need to
Graylin.
protect Arnold. Okay,
they need to protect him very badly because right now we're not doing great on our guests.
Well, no,
like Kayvon's great, obviously,
yeah, okay.
But obviously, Brian Dawkins and Trey Thomas hasn't responded to my DM in a month, so maybe he hates us. So because on that one. Justin Sternad is out for the season on the Broncos. I don't know how Akeem Davis-Gaither. I don't know how he's doing right now.
I mean, he has to be doing good. I mean,
who knows? And Graylin is on the practice. He almost left because he got cut. So
I was terrified in those 24 hours. Like if Graylin had gotten picked up by anybody, especially the Cowboys, I would have lost my mind.
I would have been pissed. I would have brought up I would have sent the quotes over
to Jerry
and Graylin and Arnold.
Release Graylin.
Release Graylin says I hate the Cowboys too. But
on the secondary, I mean, you feeling optimistic?
Yeah, I mean the Redskins' offense, it doesn't scare me.
I mean,
outside of McLaren,
Terry does.
It's scary, yeah. Outside of McLaren, like the wide receivers, really, besides McLaren, and they got Antonio Gandy Golden, who was a big fan favorite.
Yeah.
He might be another workout warrior. Maybe his tape at Liberty is just that tape at Liberty, and maybe when he goes to the NFL, it doesn't really translate. Who knows? McLaren's the real deal. We know that. Dontrell Inman has been all over the place since 2014. He went from San Diego to Chicago, then they went back to LA, then to the Colts, and then back to LA, and now he's here. And he's always been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So he's their starting slot. They got Isaiah Wright, who's a rookie. Steven Sims Jr., I don't know much about him.
Sims was lethal last season against the Eagles. He's quick, and that kick could play.
Well, I mean, most players
in the return game.
Most players go off against the Eagles. So saying that Sims did this against the Eagles is really – it's like me saying I dunked on this 5-year-old at the Fisher-Price. Who?
Did you really dunk on a 5-year-old? Did you want to confess to that right now?
Oh, I've done that plenty of times.
Okay.
I'm a summer camp director. I did not this year because we were closed. And I place my, 7, 8-year-olds on the basketball court. They're Mr. Fun. They could play. And they throw it. And I blocked them. I don't care. They're going to learn the hard way.
Guy.
They're going to learn the hard way. Guy. Yes, of course. I'm going to do that to my daughter, too. You're going to learn the hard way. But saying that Sims, he went off on the Eagles. Who hasn't gone off on the Eagles? The Eagles were weekly a daily fantasy play. Who should I start at wide receiver? Who's playing the Eagles? That was it. Now that's no longer. That's no longer. That's it. No.
Put that out there, please. You're making me a little miserable right now. I need you to put that out there.
Now that's done. Hopefully.
Hey.
We don't want to jinx it. But Sims last year against the Eagles, the first game, nothing.
It was the second game, I think it was.
Second game, he had 5 receptions for 45 yards. He was targeted 11 times, his most targeted game of the season. So, the fact that he was targeted 11 times, Steve Sims, the fact that he was targeted 11 times after weeks of 0 targets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and against the Packers, he was targeted 7 times the week before the Eagles. He was targeted 11 times. That's Ronald Darby effect. So
that's the Darby attack.
So it should be the JJ. It should be the JJ coming out party on Sunday, because he's gonna. They're either gonna put Darby on Jackson or Fuller on Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they put Fuller on Jackson because Fuller is much better than Darby. And they put Darby on JJ, or Hightower. Hightower is gonna just blow him.
Listen, stop teasing the fan base and focus on the secondary of the Eagles.
All right.
We'll get
Anyways,
there.
So you got Slay on McLaren, which I'm pretty sure Slay does his homework.
Mm-hmm.
You know this, so
He's very cerebral when it comes to that.
So if that's who you're deploying next to him, and their tight end Logan Thomas, who's getting his ass kicked by Chase Young, in training camp, it's doesn't
Wait,
look
that's their
great.
starting tight end?
Yes.
I thought they signed somebody.
They have no one. Vernon Davis is gone. Jordan Reed is gone.
No more hurdles.
I remember,
Who, by the way, was Ronald Darby one of the players that got hurdled?
Vernon Darby always gets hurdled. He was usually getting hurdled by Ezekiel Elliott, I think, but I believe the Vernon Davis hurdle was Nate Jarrett. No,
it was a DB.
It was a DB. It was Sendejo. It was 100% Sendejo. I know.
Sounds like a Sendejo thing.
I'm like almost 1,000% sure it was Sendejo. And I'm looking at a picture right now, and the number of the person who was chasing him was number 42. Sendejo.
Yeah.
So, but it does look like one of the other people that he hurdled was also number 21.
Ronald Darby.
So, yes. So, that is a highlight for you Washington fans to look forward to, is the picture of Vernon Davis jumping over your new starting corner. But
new starting corners.
But so Haskins is not great. He's okay, but there's a reason why so many mock drafts, especially this far out. But the top need for the Redskins, Washington, next year is quarterback. Like,
what is this motion?
Because I'm pissed. Like, I keep saying Redskins, and I don't want to be racist. But, anyways, Haskins is not great. The quarterback is a need next year. They have Haskins. They have Kyle Allen. Who knows what Alex Smith is about? Hopefully, he can play. I'm rooting for him. But next year, like, they're probably looking at Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields.
That's interesting.
It's I think really the main weapon besides McLaren is Antonio Gibson. That rookie that now has the keys to the backfield.
Well, apparently he's not starting.
Yeah, depth charts, unofficial depth charts, whatever. Like they can say, on the unofficial depth chart, they show Ryan Kerrigan behind Chase Young. We know Ryan Kerrigan's gonna play a lot. It's gonna be the Antonio Gibson stuff. Like I wanted him on the Eagles. I wanted him so bad on the Eagles.
I remember that.
He's like Darren Sproles player at Memphis. They played him a lot of wide receiver. He was drafted as a wide receiver, but his skill set is a running back. And he is their better Chris Thompson. And Chris Thompson was a very good threat out of the backfield. He killed the Eagles plenty of times. You
always wanted to start him in fantasy when it feels facing the Eagles.
He always killed the Eagles. Like overall, his numbers weren't great against the Eagles receiving wise. Like through 8 games, Chris Thompson played 8 games against the Eagles. He only had 233 receiving yards. So that's not too great of numbers. It's like 29, 30 yards per game. But still, his yards were first downs. It was just first downs. He was a killer. The Eagles have notoriously been bad against running backs who can catch the ball.
Which is interesting. So the Eagles are playing positionless ball. They have so many DBs. TJ Edwards is our unofficial starting Mike. So do you feel like the Eagles are going to go linebacker versus Gibson, or do you think they'll go Kayvon or Jalen versus Gibson kind of thing?
My matchup to watch, just a preview, and my article that I just spent so much time writing, I guess I'm going to give away my matchups so easily, are the Eagles linebackers versus Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
They're not – we know – Jim likes to keep his linebackers back in coverage. if they have any chance at keeping this a game, it should be a game. It should be a blowout.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a lot closer because of Antonio Gibson. Like the Eagles have been notoriously bad at guarding running backs who can move in space, who can go out and split out wide, and that's what Antonio Gibson gives you. He was one of the most athletic players in the whole draft.
So I'm gonna ask you a question really quick before you jump into it. Can I guess which linebackers you feel are gonna match up against Gibson?
Well, I think it's Davion Taylor.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm not gonna let you guys.
I lived in your brain for so long, I guess.
Yeah. I would assume Davion Taylor because he's probably next in line in the depth chart.
And he has a speed.
Sean Bradley can move too. Duke Riley can. He's a special teams guy. Singleton's a special teams guy. So you're not gonna put Gary on him.
No,
I would hope not. So it's either gonna be Taylor or Bradley. You would hope it's Taylor because Taylor is faster. But Gibson was. When he was ranked against the wide receivers, he had a 9.29 RAS. And when he's ranked against the running backs, 9.6 RAS. Yeah, he ran a 4.3940. He's fast. And he's explosive. And he can cut and he can move and he's really good and here's a fantasy. I get that he's playing the Eagles and we're saying that
I picked him up.
He's in a PPR league, he's probably a high-level pick. I think Antonio Gibson could be a really good player for them, and it sucks that we see him first week. But I'll save my prediction for later.
Okay, that's fine. So, all right, so let's move away from defense. I mean, because we feel confident enough where this defense can actually hold this Washington football team. So weird to say that. The Eagles. We mentioned it before. They're going into this game kind of limited on offense. No Alshon, obviously, still no Alshon. Which at work I was watching the Super Bowl highlights, and I got a little emotional because you feel for a guy from Alshon where you want him to succeed, but at the same time, like it sucks that he was behind. If he was truly behind the comments, because you're kind of like it's crossing T.O. territory without being the elite talent of T.O. No Rager. Rager's injured still. But he'll be back week 2. So it's back to Wentz, Ward, Jackson, and either Hightower or Arthur-Whiteside. And you mentioned before where you feel like JJ is going to really like show out in this game. And I think I'm right on board with you.
That's only if he's facing Darby.
He'll face Darby.
Whoever's facing Darby is going to have a good game. Even without those offensive weapons, you still got essentially the team that you played with at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. That sense of like comfort.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just adding in a couple of rookies. You're adding in Hightower. You have that team because at the end of the season, I mean, I know you don't have Burnett for that big catch. But you have Ward who dunked on Josh Norman to end the season to send them to the playoffs. So you have the Ball team killer in Greg Ward.
Mm-hmm.
You still got Deshaun Jackson, who first game of the season last year, 250-yard touchdowns. And you have John Hightower, JJ. They're fine. Still got Zach Ertz. You still got Dallas Goedert. You still got Miles Sanders, Boston Scott.
Say that one more time. You still got who?
Carson Wentz. So my thing is, the Eagles' offense is obviously not to full speed.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a sloppy game. There's been no preseason. It's going to be a sloppy game all around. We should expect the Eagles to continue to tackle like they've always tackled, which is not good because they're finally playing full speed. But it's like I think the Eagles are going to win. It's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they get down to a hole like they did last year,
they got into a lot of holes last year.
How they've been notorious for getting down a half and then coming back. I think if they do that against this Washington team, they can't come back from it. Because I think that with the addition of Chase Young and the addition of a head coach in Ron Rivera, who missed practice today because of his cancer treatment,
he may not be there for the game.
We hope that he's doing great.
Yeah,
we hope,
absolutely.
Obviously we're not dickheads.
Yeah,
we wish the best for him. and you got closet Trump supporter Del Rio as the backup. You know, you have two defensive minds there now, as opposed to Jay Gruden's whatever he was. With Ron Rivera, who had a great defense for years in Carolina, Jack Del Rio has coached great defenses in Denver, Raiders. You add that to their defensive arsenal, and I think that defense is going to have enough wrinkles in it to keep the Eagles down if they are down. The Eagles defense needs to force a lot of 3-and-outs to give the offense enough time to just do what they do.
So I have a question, because it was a hot topic entering last season. Nobody's really discussed it entering this season. The slow start to the Eagles. You think is it truly possible, even with all the weapons that we have, for that to still be a thing that plagues us this season?
It better not be, because why do you have so many cooks in the kitchen if you're just gonna have a slow offensive start?
It's the same thing like last season.
Well, last year it was just
Doug.
No sense. It was Doug and
made no sense. Like, it was nothing but slow starts.
Well, last year was Doug and Mike Groh and Carson Walsh, and the year before was that too. So, like, what the hell are you doing? Now this year you have Doug, you have Press Taylor, you have Deuce, you have Rick Scangarello, you have Marty Moore at wing back. Like, you have all these minds now that I believe that if you have a slow start, then why the hell are you paying all these people?
I 1000% agree with you. But what if it does happen? Like, because if it does happen, then they're falling into the plague that you're saying that, you know, this defense can really wear down this offense.
If it does happen, then someone's head needs to be chopped off. Like you've been plagued with, like, this year. The Eagles administration, from Howie to Doug.
Administration, I like the way you said that. Made me feel real presidential.
to Jim, has been very focused on trying to push off past years' bugaboos. Like, holding on for players too long. I know Jason Peters is still around, but Howie said with the release of Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas, like, they've pretty much learned not to hold on to a player and just know when to cut your losses.
Okay. You think the coaching is not
hopefully the coaching is not is not safe to that. It's except for the coaches, But they let go of Mike Rowe, they let go of Carson Walsh. They brought in a great coach in Aaron Moorhead, who's bringing new drills and new everything in. Same thing with Marco Emmanuel. They brought in all these different coaches for the offense with it. It just looked like promoted Perez Taylor. You have to think that they were focused on, all right, explosive plays. We need to score. We need to score quick. Hopefully not too quick that their defense is gassed without getting a rest, but for long, sustained drives, because these 3-and-outs, it's almost inevitable. It's like a 99%. What?
It was very frustrating to see that last season.
It's 99% likely that we're gonna have a 3-and-out the first series of the game on Sunday, just to it's gonna fuck with us. It's gonna be well, here we go again, and then they're just gonna
drive
go
Eagles Twitter nuts.
It's gonna be check down to Sanders. And all right, 2nd and 8 coming up, and it's gonna be deep incompletion. All right, 3rd and 8 coming up. And then it's going to be a pass to Zach Ertz for 7 yards short of sticks, 3-and-out. That's it. It's going to be it. And then we're going to be it's going to happen. And then they're going to blow up for 50 points. Like, that's the Eagles football. It's
the unfortunate truth of Eagles football. What's also the unfortunate truth?
It's my quarantine issues down below. But I got that covered with Manscaped. I bet you guys, your quarantine issues down below have been getting out of control.
Atrocious. It's funny. I just had a landscaper fix the yard today, so
that's
very proud that I Manscaped.
That's what Brian likes to say when he's hanging out in the bathroom with his lawnmower 3.0. He say, "I got the landscaper that came by and did the yard," but really he's talking about the buzzer that he has in the bathroom, called the Landscaper 3.0. We talk about this every week, guys. It's great. We're not saying this just because we're getting paid to do that. We're saying because
really like the
it's
products.
great.
Yeah.
They have great body wash. They have great ball deodorant. They have great ball toner. Just a little spritz on there, and freshen it up. They have a great little grooming kit with a nail file, a nail clipper, cuticle cutter.
Mm-hmm.
They have great boxers. They have great everything. Just go to manscaped.com, FTB at checkout, 20% off, free shipping. Like, I get the lawnmower is
20% off. That's
a
a lot.
little pricey. Full price, $90. 20% off, get $18 off. Like, come on, it's quick math.
You can't beat that, and free shipping, like you said.
Free shipping, come on.
Like, that's code FTB20. FTB for 20% off. Sorry.
Drink your Tavore beer while you are manscaping.
I still have not tried the shower beer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little skeptical about it.
You're missing out.
But anyways, before we continue going on about the game, guys, just so you know, Chris and I will be at Mulligan's in Hoboken, hosting a live podcast at your favorite Eagles bar in New Jersey. We'll be there live. If you're there, shout us out. It's not a problem. We're not shy. I mean, we're definitely not shy. But we'll be there hosting a game. I'll have more details later on the week as to what we're going to do for the live stream part of it. But it's very exciting because we were supposed to do this for the draft, and now we get to do this for opening day.
Right. So if you're in New Jersey, or even Pennsylvania, you want to make the drive, Hoboken, Mulligan's, game is at 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
So, be there. It's going to probably be packed. New Jersey laws finally are up. Our indoor dining and everything, we're going to probably be set up outside. Outside, there's only about 120 seats available because of all the limitations, where you have two of them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 118 seats now. So, get there early so you can come hang out with us, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, we probably don't have anything to give away.
Most likely not.
Because COVID kind of messed with our budgets. So we were planning on doing that, but our money is a little, it's a little
tight. It's okay.
But it's all right. Just we will give away our appreciation to you. So it's just come have a great time. There's specials there. I believe it's $3 Yinglings and Bud Lights and $25 White Claw buckets and $15 something else, and there's wings and all. It's a great spot. It's where New Jersey Eagles fans go to hang out. It's a great spot in Hoboken. If you want to go to the city after, just take the train and it's right there. It's great. Come hang out with us in Hoboken on Sunday, week 1, and let's celebrate together. We'll have a big cheers. Eagles football is back.
I can't wait. So, speaking of Eagles football back, I'm curious because you said, it should be a blowout. It's most likely not going to be a blowout if we're expecting the Eagles pass to show up. What's your score prediction heading into week 1?
24-17.
Okay.
And the Eagles will be up 10-0 at half.
Okay.
And we're going to be all angry at it only being 10 points.
I'm going to go 28-14. Just a little bit less than you.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are going to destroy the curse of the slow starts that has haunted me for so many seasons. And I think the big guy of the game is going to be, I'm in between right now, between Dallas Goedert and JJ. I think one of those two are gonna break out and just have a game.
Who scores the first touchdown of the Eagles season?
I think Deshaun or John Hightower. One of those two is gonna burn Ronald Darby, and it's gonna be a nice. Carson Wentz is gonna throw it, and it's gonna be caught.
I hope all his passes are thrown and caught.
It's not gonna be a complete deep ball like it used to be. It's not gonna be like the Aguilar. It's gonna be a nice pass. You okay? You're rocking back and forth like a psychopath right now.
The first touchdown of the Eagles' 2020 season will be Boston Scott.
Boston Scott. Really? So you have Boston being a heavy producer early in the game then?
That doesn't mean he's not going to be a heavy producer, but I just mean he's going to score the first touchdown.
I mean, he's not going to get goal line work. So
there's
breaking off a couple yards.
Don't poo-poo his goal line work.
He's not getting goal line.
Did you watch him against the Giants last year?
I did, but they have Clement now.
I get it, but
Clement.
Don't poo-poo.
Is it Clement or Clement?
It's Clementine. Don't poo-poo Boston Scott's work.
I would never poo-poo on Boston Scott. I'm not that kind of girl like Odell has.
Yeah, don't be Odell on him. So I think either on a screen or a wheel route, Boston Scott gets free because they're too worried about Jackson. They're too worried about Ertz. They're too worried about Sanders because it could be Sanders and Scott on the same field.
I'm very looking forward to having the Eagles line up with Sanders and Scott in the backfield.
So
that has to be a thing this season.
Boston Scott gets the first touchdown in Eagles season.
Okay.
Mark it down. Last preseason, who predicted the first preseason touchdown?
You actually did predict that one.
I did. I said Markin Michelle in the second quarter. And what happened? Markin Michelle in the second quarter scored the first Eagles touchdown of the season.
He did.
I mean, go to Vegas, put down $100 on Boston Scott, score a touchdown. If you lose, you didn't hear it here.
If you lose, you know where we will be.
If you lose, we're going to move the podcast somewhere else.
A back alley somewhere in New York.
Don't get the bookies on me.
But just real quick before we end the podcast, we do have to talk about something very, very important. Jason Peters, guys, is our starting left tackle. To nobody's surprise. It happened.
Yeah. Listen, Pro Football Focus rated him very highly last year.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, that his play doesn't account for all the snaps he missed, all the games he missed, and all the false starts. But it's the best option they had. It's good on him for not biting down on his higher salary for playing left tackle thing. Like he finally saw it. He was like, "Listen, the best option for us to succeed is me on left tackle. I'm just gonna go back there." I saw Matt Pryor get his ass kicked by Josh Sweat, by Joe Ostman, by everybody. Like how we could have probably lined up against Matt Pryor left tackle and probably done something.
Probably won. I completely agree with that. But I think it was very necessary. Like,
but last year, like on 602 pass blocking snaps last year, he only allowed 25 pressures. On Dillard's side, Dillard allowed 25 pressures as well, but on half of the snaps, pass blocking snaps. So Peters still can play at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it. He just needs to keep Chase Young at bay. That's all he has to do. I'm fine with it.
Very, very interesting to see a rookie go against such a very aged veteran in the first game of the season.
Very aged.
Now, before we end, you had to make one very, very bold prediction that you believe will happen this season with either a player or with the team. Yes, one bold prediction before we enter the season.
My bold prediction. All right, I said this on Twitter the other day. I'm going to double down on that.
Okay.
Josh Sweat becomes a starter soon over Derek Barnett.
Ooh.
And he has a 10-sack season. Also,
right, I said one.
Casey Toohill is the next Josh Sweat in terms of limited snaps.
But effective.
But effective and productive. I think Toohill has 5 sacks this year.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside goes for 600 yards this season. I think he goes for 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I truly believe that it's going to push Alshon out of Philly. The Eagles will find a trade.
I think regardless of JJ's good or not, I think Alshon's this is his last year.
But I think it would be that vote of confidence. I think Alshon gets traded during the season.
Well, I don't think during the season. But
let's see.
I think he's gone after next year, though. JJ, to get 600 yards, he has to average 37.5 yards per game. It's not light work. See, my thing, like I said today, with the news that Rager is now the punt returner for the Eagles, I said he could probably push for Miles Sanders' rookie record for all-purpose yards.
Imagine that, breaking a record that was just made last season.
Like, I think Rager's ceiling, even in 15 games, if he plays week 2, is 750 yards receiving. I think that's a ceiling. That's a 50 yards per game receiving. I think he's going to add an element to the running game also. I think he's going to, if he averages 20 yards rushing per game, and then he adds in another 27, 28 punt return yards per game, which is very easily done. If this defense shows up to get these teams to punt, he can push for 1,400 to 1,500 yards, all-purpose yards. Now, Sanders' record is 16-18. He can, if he has a better season, then he can push for it. But I think Rager has a legitimate shot at between 1,400 1,500 yards, all-purpose yards.
That's okay.
Might not win him Rookie of the Year because Sanders didn't win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's not going to get it.
I mean, you got Joe Burrow, you got Tua at some point. You know, you got CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 3. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's probably going to be the best running back in the whole league soon because he's under Andy Reid and all that. So he has his work cut out for him, but he can still be really good for the Eagles, and I think he still will be.
Okay. Well, those are our bold predictions. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in, and do not forget, Sunday, Mulligans, 1 p.m., Flippin' the Birds, live podcast, Hoboken, New Jersey. It's all you need to know. I'm pretty sure we'll put out details from either the Twitter account or most likely from Chris's Twitter account. Guys, it's going to be fun. I mean, football's back.
That's right.
That's one way to describe it.
I'll be eating some wings on a live stream. You won't want to miss it.
It's pretty awesome. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Until next week, I'm Brian Cameron. He's Chris Infante. This is Flippin' the Birds.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.